won't be see-through. Transparency when you look at me. You know I can teach you everything. Are you hearing me? It's so hard to reach you.
What's going on, all you love monsters out there? It is Coach Adam, your gifted purpose life coach. What that means is I help you use your gifts so that you live life in purpose, on purpose. Coming at you with another Transparent Tuesdays. All right, so I believe this video will be out by the time or before our Leading with Love conference. So we're doing a big push just to promote our Leading with Love conference at Brookhaven Country Club. So if you're able to attend, it's November the 3rd. November the 3rd, we're having our Leading with Love conference, and we're doing a virtual session on Saturday. So if you're not in Texas, you are more than welcome to join virtually. And next year is going to be so great. It's going to be so impactful. We'll be taking our Leading with Love conference on tour, on an international tour, cities like Bali, Dubai, Nairobi, Africa. We're taking this thing global because, you know, at Jice Loves, we are a global institute for coaches and entrepreneurs. So we're really looking forward to you guys joining and being a part of our Leading with Love conference. We've lowered the tickets down to a really, really affordable price. So looking forward to seeing you there. And if you can't join in person, you know, I'll talk a little bit later about how you can get involved. So that leads me to the topic of our conversation today, which is leading with love. And that's just gonna be what we're talking about today on Transparent Tuesdays. And I'm working on just bringing you guys some more content, more intentional content outside of just Transparent Tuesdays, working on some other things. Can't wait to share. So please like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's free. All right, so what does leading with love mean to me? You know, for me, I would say that there are times in business, you know, speaking from a business perspective and from a personal perspective, you know, there are times where we put high standards and expectations onto other people that we don't even have for ourselves. And for me, leading with love means giving people grace to make mistakes, giving people grace to grow, communicating with people from a place of how am I affecting you by what I say and by what I do? And am I affecting you in a positive way or in a negative way? I think that people are going through things, you know, and the more I cultivate my craft of a mental health life coach, I see more and more mental health issues in people that they may or may not realize. You know, I'm even starting to edit my circle because it makes it much harder to work with people that don't do their inner work. Meaning, you know, and you know, what does that look like? Because leading with love first starts with you. And then that love will become infectious and translate out. So when I say inner work, loving yourself is what I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about getting your hair done, you know, going to the beauty salon and getting pampering and manicure. Like, that's not self-love and self-care to me. Self-love and self-care to me is doing the things that you know you need to do to make yourself better, to make you show up in excellence, to make you be kind to other people, to make you be compassionate and understanding to other people. And that looks like working out, using that gym membership that you're not using, eating healthy, stop going to McDonald's and the fast food restaurants, because you know that affects your mental health, that affects how you think. That is self-love to me. Praying, staying spiritually connected, forgiving people that have wronged you in the past, and letting it go. So that's what leading with love looks like to me. And the more that I move in this space of counseling and mental health life coaching, like, no, I cannot diagnose, but a state requirement makes us be able to assess individuals. And I come across countless entrepreneurs, and I can immediately identify things that they deal with and how it affects them outwardly, how it affects their business, how it affects how consistent they are, how it affects how they communicate, how it affects how they show up and do the work that they don't necessarily have the comparative advantage to do, like administrative work, or the things that entrepreneurs have to, or getting a CPA, completing your filings and being compliant, just those tedious things that we know that we have to do to be an entrepreneur. And I'm seeing more, especially new entrepreneurs, just understanding that when you start a business, especially if, I coined the term a changepreneur, meaning I don't just make dollars, I make change. Make sense? So especially if you have a business that solves a problem or helps people, you have a responsibility, not just to your business and to making money, but you have a responsibility to show up in excellence, because there are people that are depending on you. And for me and for my practice, I primarily work with youth. So there is a higher level of expectation, because kids are more impressionable, that I continue to lead with love. I continue to do my inner work. I continue to reset, and I continue to be kind to myself and others. Because how you show up, how you treat someone, how you choose to help them or not, will affect them. And from someone who understands people are dealing with things that they aren't going to tell you because they don't know you, they don't have the requirement to tell you what they're going through. But you can have words that would uplift them or do the exact opposite. So that's what leading with love. That's what leading with love means to me. So I'm gonna do transparent share out. So it's time to just, give you guys my experience, and that's why I do these transparent Tuesdays. If you go back to some of the first videos, I said, I created these transparent Tuesdays because someone told me that the person that I was on my social media, they felt like that wasn't the person who I really was. So I was like, okay, I put a lot of the glitz and the glamour on social media, so let me put the transparent times, which is not always fun, it's not always pretty, it's not always nice. There's a sacrifice that you have to make to be an entrepreneur. There's a certain belief in yourself that you have to make to be an entrepreneur. I could easily get a job and let somebody tell me what my worth is, but I choose not to. I choose to use my gifts and live life on purpose, because I know that God put me here for a reason, and I want to spread the message of your gifts will sustain you. Because if I'm leading with love and I understand that self-love and my worth is important, then I know that I'm greater than just the job. There's something that I need to share with other people to get out to them, so that they can understand that living in your gifts is truly fulfilling. Like, you wake up every day, like I have to create time to do my inner work, to create time to take a break, create time to eat, because I truly love what I do. So, transparent share out. So I'm gonna give you just some things from an experience, from a negative perspective of, how not leading with love affects you and people, kind of like what I was saying earlier, but just an actual experience of mine and a positive experience from leading with love. Okay, so we're gonna start with the negative first, okay? So, and then we'll end with the positive. We'll put a positive, spin on this thing. So, before I became a full-time entrepreneur, I had left my job at Frito-Lay in Houston, and I just wanted to focus fully on being an entrepreneur. However, I was moving from a different city, and I didn't have a job. So I had to just quit my job at Frito-Lay. I was making close to $30 an hour for a job making like $7.50. It's like, I'm just gonna, go back into retail sales until I can figure out how to sustain my entrepreneurship aspirations. And I started to work at Journeys, a shoe store, as a part-timer, $7.50 an hour, y'all. And within a couple months, I became assistant manager, and I think within like 3 or 4 months, I got my own store in Fort Worth. So I was managing a store, and I'm familiar with retail sales management. I've been working in sales for majority of my professional career. I have background in this, that's why I also do branding and marketing and sales consulting. But in that, I was very intentional how I hired people, right? So I would hire part-timers that had never worked before, because they're not conditioned by another employer, and you can kind of train them on expectations to meet certain sales goals. So I would train, part-timers, and be intentional about hiring part-timers that were in high school, because it was a job that didn't pay a lot, commission-based, and, weird hours. So, just kids that were in school, in high school, early college were perfect, ideal, right? But as it pertained to managers, I would have to be intentional about how I hired and what their goals were with the company, and et cetera, et cetera. So I always sought to hire people in a management role or a leadership role that wanted to expand and grow with the company. And I would always, just because of how aggressive I was at selling in my numbers, I would always be put in struggling stores. So that we can, and those stores, and then we would be able to compete with like the North Parks and the Gallerias and the higher end stores that did high level production. And just so we can keep up, because I just have high standards, do the most, So, and I hired diversely. Because I feel that representation matters, and I would try to be able to appeal to all my customers that would come into the store. Black, white, Hispanic, gay, lesbian, just have a diverse staff. And that was an intention. So if you tend to buy, when you understand, buyers and buyer profile and personas and things like that, people tend to buy and shop with people that look like them. So I was intentional on that. So I hired a manager. He was a white guy. and young and had high aspirations. He was also a model, pretty privileged, attractive. That's another, come from marketing and fashion and, just, there's just intentions on people that are attractive. It kind of speaks to, doors that open for them, people that makes people more comfortable to spend money with people that are attractive. So just intentional. He was a former model, white, Caucasian, and he had aspirations at growing with the company. And I hired him into a assistant manager position. So I hired this young man into an assistant manager position, and I was raised by a lot of strong-willed Black women, women that would not bite their tongue if they had a concern or a complaint. And so that hard approach made me better. I learned from a few women in sales, and they were just really, really efficient. They were the top managers. I always learned from the people in the field that were doing the best and producing at a high level. So, I took some of those tactics into training this part-timer, and this is all pre-life coaching, and in sales there was this like competition, and I would always try to create a healthy atmosphere, a healthy environment for healthy competition, because I experienced when I was at another company, retail, Foot Locker, sometimes it was a little unhealthy, the competition. Like it would, people were stealing sales and, stuff like that. And I just didn't want that at my store. So I would create healthy competitions and incentives and things like that just to motivate people to hit their sales goals, And my intentions with training this assistant manager was to promote him into his own store, because that's a reflection on me. If I'm hiring people that are getting their own stores, or hiring people that other store managers want them to be their assistant managers, that's a reflection on how I train and develop. However, what I was missing was leading with love. And with this young man, when he would make a mistake, when he wouldn't hit his sales goal, when I would pop up and he would be chilling in the store, I would, I'd reprimand, I'd have conversations. I was big on not reprimanding, because I felt like if there is an employee that is not performing to my level, to my standards, then that was more a reflection on me, and I needed to do more training. That's how I always approached that. Training them to get them to the level, because retention is not a good thing. To just fire them, to abandon them, leave and forsake, I ain't dealing with that. That's just, to me, a poor reflection of a company when they're always bringing in new people. They can't retain employees. So, I wanted to be able to keep my employees, because that's a cost to the bottom line, because if I had to train somebody, if I fire them and I had to train somebody else, then there's going to be a gap in coverage for the store. So that was just, it's just not, I think, efficient business if you can't retain your employees. It's a sign of the type of company you work for. So I saw some behaviors that I just like, okay, we need to work on some of these behaviors, because I need the store to perform whether I'm there or not. I need us to hit our sales goals, whether I'm there or not. And I need you to keep the expectations that I set as my assistant manager, right? So, and to the incentive for him was, I'm gonna help you get your own store. And what would happen was, so this young man was, this is why going back to leading with love. What would happen was when I would reprimand his behavior, he felt as though I wasn't appreciating him. He felt as though the things that he was doing that I didn't know about, I just kind of looked over and brushed off, you know, and I didn't give him the space to, you know, tell his side. My focus was production and produce and goals, sales goals, and, you know, selling socks and things like that. And I didn't look at him as a person. I looked at him as a team member that could help the store and myself reach our goals. And I treated him like that. And, you know, sometimes that can make people feel like a number. It's not a good feeling, you know? And I remember a time where we're having this reprimand. I think we were in the back. If you know about retail and selling shoes, like the stock room is the foundation of the business, because that's where our money is. So it needs to be extremely organized. When you get new SKUs in or new shoes, you sometimes have to reorganize the whole back room, which, you know, keeps you there all night. Like, you know, the time that the malls are open, some managers staying in there later than that or earlier, especially if you got an audit. And you know, you want to keep up with your inventory and just keep an organized stock room so that when you go to the back to pull a shoe, it's easy to find, come right back out. And then we're serving our customers with just high efficiency and great quality customer service. I was big on that. My district manager would hate my customer service because I would tell people, well, you can leave and go to another store, and if their customer service is better than mine, go buy from them. And 9 times out of 10, they would come right back and shop with me, because the people in those stores just didn't have my level of customer service. So in this training, going back to this young man that I hired, this assistant manager, in this training, you know, he just broke down, started to cry and everything. He just felt like he wasn't valued. He didn't understand that the reason why I was being so hard on him is so that he could excel, because I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur and I wasn't gonna stay in retail. Because the hours are demanding, you gotta work the holidays, you know, I knew I wasn't gonna stay. I had just left Frito-Lay. I just needed a job, but I got put into a management role, got my own store in less than 6 months. But I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to use my gifts and I wanted to live a purposeful life. So I was telling him, like, you know, normally when a new store manager gets a store, they fire everybody in that store. So the only people that they keep are the top producers. That's normally the process. If a manager takes over a store, especially if that store was underperforming, even though I wasn't an underperforming store, but I was always sent to them. You fire everybody. Fire everybody in that store, especially if there's an issue with stealing, because you don't know who's stealing, who's doing what, and you keep the top performer if they're willing to go with the change. And I would convey this to him, but I don't think that he understood my intentions, and I didn't say it and lead with love. So the message got lost. He felt unworthy, he felt unvalued, even though he stayed until I quit. You know, they ended up firing him. You know, he didn't get his own store. So what I learned from that, you know, my transparent share out, the importance of leading with love, holding space for people, being compassionate, treating people like people and not as a means to hit a goal, as a means to, you know, make a sale. So that's the negative, transparent share out. Now the positive, let's get to the positive. All right, so this is my favorite part, the love, okay? So, you know, as you know, we're getting ready for this Leading with Love conference, shameless plug. I'm gonna keep talking about it until it's over, November 3rd at Brookhaven Country Club, okay? The CEO of Jice Loves, Master Coach LaKendra Smiley. 7-figure business, by the way. You know, I have a lot of people in my network, blessed to have a lot of people in my network that make 7 figures. You know, and I'm on my way to that road. But this network of people are so humble. Like if you guys shop at Walmart or Target or anywhere, you can find this spray called Poopery. It's a spray that you spray in your toilet. It gets rid of odor. And the owner of this company, her name is Susie Baptiste. She's right here in Addison, Texas. Shout out to Susie Baptiste. Shout out to Poopery, changed to Puri. You know, 7-figure business as well. She may be 7 or 8 figures. And you know, just a very humble, down to earth, organic, spiritual, you know, just a very just real kind of person, you know? And it's just, I wouldn't think that it was normal for people that make that type of money to be so just real, you know? And same with Master Coach LaKendra, just being like real, really wanting people to win. You know, that's not normal for people that look like this, you know, for us to really want people to win. And I'm gonna give you the tools to how I won. I'm gonna give you the tools to how I made 7 figures so that you can make 7 figures. Like this is the type of network that we have. This is the type of network that will be at the Leading with Love conference. People that truly want you to make 7 figures. People truly want you to win. You know, we have some great, just, you know, some gossip. I just, you know, can't even talk about the things that we doing because you would think I'm bragging, child. But, you know, a really, really great network, not just here in the United States, but internationally. Like we're doing some great business and some great international partners that make a lot of money, but it's all community focused. It's all, how can my business help people? If that's not who you are, this is not the tribe for you. This ain't the conference for you. If you want to just go make a lot of money, go do that somewhere else, okay? But if you want to make a lot of money and help people, this is the tribe for you. This is the tribe for you. And going to that positive, transparent share out, Master Coach is truly the epitome of I practice what I teach and I am love. And I truly operate in love. So there was a time where she just really invested in, you know, what it is that I do, you know, after being burned, you know, but still giving grace and compassion. You know, think about that person that burned you, that did you wrong, did you dirty. What did you do? How did you treat them? Did you go back to them? Did you give them another chance? Did you give them another opportunity? Or did you cut them loose? You know, which is what most people do, and that's fair, that's your right. But if you're leading with love, and I associate love with God, the Most High, Yahweh, Allah, whatever you call your higher power, when we disappoint our higher power, how does our higher power treat us? Does our higher power abandon and forsake us? Does our higher power not give us the space and grace to do better? And I think we just need more of that. Like I attribute a lot of my change and my growth to Master Coach living in her purpose and creating a company for life coaches that teaches them how to lead with love, how to be kind, and how to do their own inner work, so that they show up and they are truly love and light. You know, and I strive for this every day, and I'm not always perfect at it. I sometimes fail, especially when people do me wrong. I'm quick to bang, bang. You know, I'm a fire sign, I'm a Sagittarius. I will shoot you up in a minute. you know, but I'm learning to move more in a space of love. You know, let me just write down how you pissed me off. Okay, I'm gonna journal about it. And when I see you again, I may hold you accountable. I may say some things to you in love. But you know, I'm just gonna give you the space and grace because it was given to me. And it's continued to be given to me. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have for Leading with Love. That's our topic for today, for Transparent Tuesdays. I want to end this with, you know, if you want to get involved, if you want to support, whether you're in Texas or whatever state, wherever you're watching this from, you can get involved by adopting a teddy bear. Okay, we have a teddy bear we just made into production. It's going to be ready by the conference. I think it'll be ready this week. Lovey the Bear, you know, there's just a lot of mental health research, evidence-based research that talks about how hugging people and hugging teddy bears specifically can change your mood and your mental health. So you can adopt this teddy bear for $175 that gets you access into the conference, both virtual and physical. It's all paid for. It's a vibe. It's at Brookhaven Country Club. We're going to have alcohol. We're going to have drinks. We're going to have interviews, headshots. It's a vibe, you know? And if you don't want the teddy bear, you can donate the teddy bear back to the cause. It will go towards a child. Last year we gave, I think, $500 to 5 different charities. This year our goal is to give $500 to 6 charities. We have a lot of great charities, some international charities, some charities here in the States. You know, we do a lot of work in Africa and in the Philippines, you know, where there is a huge need. So this is a charity event. Yes, we're teaching you how to lead with love, but the proceeds go back to the people that do the work. You know, because like I said, we are change makers. We don't create a business just to make money. We create a business to make dollars and change. So be a part of the change. Be a part of the change. Come to the Leading with Love conference. Make a donation. Buy Lovey the Bear. And I hope to see you there. All right, that's me, Coach Adam, your gifted purpose life coach. What that means is I help you use your gifts so that you live life in purpose, on purpose. Signing out. Peace and love.
Oh, but the greatest love of all is a love to set you free. So I hold this love in my heart, especially for thee. Real love, I wanna be see-through. Transparency, when you look at me, you know I can teach you everything. Are you hearing me? It's so hard to reach. It's so hard to reach.